Hey there friends, thanks for joining me again. If you're looking for an inexpensive way to put together a livestock fence, I have a suggestion for you. A pallet fence. Pallet fences are really easy to put together and they're made out of mostly free materials. Now as you can see, I put together this fence right here for my chickens. I don't know if you can see them behind there actually, but there they are. And I actually used two different kinds of fencing for this project. This fence here obviously was made out of the regular style pallet, a door made out of just some scrap plywood I had around. Let me make my way through my garden here. And this second section of it here is made out of paper pallets. Have you ever had a printer where you try to use a piece of paper in it and the paper just kind of jams and gets stuck because the paper had a piece of wiggle? Just a little wiggle in it just was enough to make it so that the piece of paper didn't go through the printer? Well, it's the same thing in printing companies. When they get shipped, big amounts of paper for their company, they have these plywood on top of the paper pallet, and the paper pallet is a little bit smaller than a typical pallet. It's about half the size or so. So a pallet that's like half the size with the plywood on top for a regular style pallet fence, or the other style if you want to be able to see your animals. This one obviously offers a little bit more shade and more privacy if you wanted to hide what kind of animal you have back there. And then I put together the door and everything else basically out of the same materials. And so I have about 64 linear feet of fencing here, and it cost me $30 or so. I did not have most of the materials other than the pallets. I just had the pallets for free, and then I had to pay separately for the wood, the 2x4s and things that went between each and every one of these. I also had to pay for the concrete to concrete the posts in between all of the little sections, and I also had to buy the hardware for the hinges and the latches and the screws and stuff to screw it together. And so with all of that, with the concrete, the posts, and all the hardware and everything, I spent about $30 on this fence. Again, that was 64 linear feet long. So that equals less than 25 cents a square foot, or excuse me, 50 cents a linear foot. Sorry, my math. Anyway, which is way less expensive than it would be if you were to get a fence like chain link or any other type of fencing for that matter. And they're pretty happy in there. They seem to like it just fine. Well, anyway, thanks for joining me. See you next time.